Hello everybody, welcome to Totally Tabled. My name is Shaggy, and this is Retail Rundown, where I quickly go over the newest soloable board games to hit the retail market, at least where I live in the United States. If I missed a release that you feel deserves attention, please give it a mention in the comments below. First up is the second printing of Earthborne Rangers, along with several new expansions, including Legacy of the Ancestors Campaign expansion, Stewards of the Valley Ranger card expansion, and the Moments of the Path mini expansion. All of these were crowdfunded, but they seem to be available at several retail locations and on earthbornegames.com. If you want to learn more about the base game of Earthborne Rangers, check out my playthrough and my first impressions video. In short, this is a cooperative, customizable adventure campaign card game, where you take the role of a ranger in a fascinating open wilderness that is full of mysterious technology and strange beings to discover. The new Legacy of the Ancestors expansion is the first major campaign expansion for the game. That means it features a completely new campaign that utilizes the original cards and map, but adds new cards and maps as you explore underground worlds, discover new beings, accomplish new missions, and solve new mysteries. Keep in mind, this is not a standalone expansion, so you are going to need the base game. And it's hard to tell exactly how much it's adding, but it certainly seems like a fair amount of content. The other two expansions are smaller additions. Stewards of the Valley adds new ranger cards to allow for more choice during character creation. It also adds a completely new ranger background and specialty set. Moments of the Path contains just 30 cards that you can add to the path for more variety. I love Earthborne Rangers, so I am of course interested in these add-ons, although I still have a lot left to explore in the base game. While we're on the subject of new printings of games, I want to mention that Saltfjord has seen a wider release recently. It's been popping up in retail locations all over the place, so if you're having trouble finding a copy before, it should be available now. Saltfjord is a reimagining of the game Santa Maria, with a solo mode that I've made a full playthrough for, so go check that out. It has a fun, puzzly dice action selection mechanism that is just satisfying and clever. I highly recommend it. Moving on to games I haven't played, Age of Galaxy 2nd Edition is now available at retail and on the Portal Games website. This was my #1 most anticipated solo board game from Gen Con this year. Go check out my top 10 video from like a month ago. I'll put a link in the description. Age of Galaxy is a Space 4X game where each player takes control of an alliance of 3 different factions, which you choose from like a total of 40 or more, each with unique abilities and potential paths to victory. You'll use the faction cards in multiple different ways in order to explore and colonize planets, research tech, build galactic cruisers, and attack your enemies. The first edition is well regarded, and this new edition from Portal Games has updated artwork, larger components and cards, and it apparently has an enhanced solo mode. I don't know the details, but I've been wanting to try this game for quite a while, so I'm excited to get the chance with this new edition. Next up is Citizens of the Spark from Thunderworks Games. This is a drafting and tableau building card game for 1 to 5 players that can be completed in an hour, at least according to the box. For each game, you'll pick between 7 and 10 animal citizen types out of a total of 30, and you'll combine those into a single deck. Each citizen type has unique abilities, and the more of a single type of citizen you recruit, the more powerful they become. On your turn, you'll draft a collection of cards, group them in your tableau, and then pick a type of citizen to activate. There's also a follow mechanism in the multiplayer game where other players can activate a matching citizen in their own tableau. I'm not exactly sure how that works in a solo game. Maybe there's a solo opponent taking cards and activating them. I'm not sure. But I know I love these mechanisms, and the artwork is bright, colorful, and pleasant, so this is one I'd really like to try out. The last of my main attractions is The Lord of the Rings: Fate of the Fellowship by Z-Man Games. Before I describe this one, let me start with a giant PSA. This game was delayed in the United States and perhaps elsewhere due to a production issue. A press release from Z-Man Games states, "It came to our attention that our factory didn't properly pack the game." So basically, packing paper was supposed to be included to keep components from moving around in the box, but it was missing, causing damage to cards. Nevertheless, after a pretty surprisingly small delay, multiple retail outlets have copies available, while others appear to still be waiting for copies. And there are also multiple reports on social media and BoardGameGeek about people receiving games with damaged cards. Still others have reported finding undamaged copies. So has the issue been fixed? Is it safe to buy the currently available copies in the United States? I have no idea. For now, you need to keep this in mind before getting a copy and maybe check for new updates on the situation. With that out of the way, Fate of the Fellowship is a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players using the pandemic system. Now, there are a lot of these games, but this one appears to be the most radical departure from classic pandemic to date. Apparently, each player controls 2 characters with unique special abilities, which you'll use to protect Frodo, battle enemies, and evade the Nazgul. Additionally, each game will present a new challenge with 24 different objectives, 14 events, and 13 playable characters. Perhaps most excitingly, Fate of the Fellowship contains a special solo mode that was designed by Matt Leacock himself. This was in my top 10 most anticipated solo board games for 2025 video like many months ago, so I personally can't wait to get this one to the table. Fingers crossed that my copy isn't damaged. Now I'll just quickly run through a handful of other soloable games that recently grabbed my attention. This time I happen to be exclusively discussing expansions. First, there's a new scenario pack for Arkham Horror the card game called Film Fatale. This one takes place in Hollywood's Lot C, where film sets are experiencing mysterious events. To quote the description on BGG, as space-time warps and fiction becomes reality, you'll find yourself negotiating with alien Saturnites, fleeing from hungry dinosaurs, and warding off bloodthirsty vampires. Arkham Horror the card game ranks highly amongst my favorite games of all time, and one of the reasons is because of how flexible the system is for creative storytelling, in many ways like my favorite game Robinson Crusoe. And since we're talking about one cooperative living card game from Fantasy Flight, let's talk about the other one. Marvel Champions, the card game, has a new scenario pack called Trickster Takeover. This set features 2 scenarios featuring the Enchantress and Loki. There's also apparently a brand new epic multiplayer mode. Not sure what that means, but it sure sounds interesting. Next, there's several new expansions out for Forest Shuffle, but the one that interests me the most is the Exploration expansion, which introduces an official Automa deck with 12 challenges to complete. There's more than just that in the expansion. There's also new cave cards with powers to replace the regular caves in the base game. And there's 15 special cards that feature rare species from around the world. I've never played Forest Shuffle, but it is an incredibly popular card game. And with this new solo mode, I think now might be the right time to jump in. Last but not least is the Pirates of Maracaibo Commanders expansion. The original printing of this came out last year, but a new printing by Capstone Games was recently released to retail. This is another game I haven't been able to get to the table yet, even though I've definitely been interested. This expansion adds asymmetrical player powers, which is always welcome, and new explorer boards, cards, and rum trading. And there you have it. That's all for me. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.